This is something that they'll probably never tell you, but you don't need to convince a client about the value of your work. When I started, such a pleaser. I was this person that really used a lot of energy to convince clients to want to work with me or to pick me to bring out results on their projects. And well, this is something that had to take a lot of personal inner self-work, but I think as I grew, alhamdulillah, I started to realize that sort of like differences, because I had been in situations where I did a lot of convincing, and I had been in situations where people would just tell me, Abdul, we think you're the right fit for us. We want to have you in. Compared to the people that I would have to kiss a lot of ass, really do the heavy convincing. And there are a few things that I've learned. I'm not saying that you don't have to really like position yourself or lay out yourself in a way that you might be more digestible, more appealing, or more attractive to work with. I'm not saying we should neglect all of that, no. But the one thing that I've realized is I had put a lot of time sort of marketing myself, using social media, offering extra value. These are, doing all that, all the work in terms of like positioning myself, making sure that I'm always showing my work. When I meet people, I'm always talking about myself, talking about my business. And just like over time, you generate more confidence, the more you do things. And I think that's something that's very important, like building up your portfolio. And this, like I said, could be through social media, but also I realized there's an importance of having a website where it's sort of like a portal where you can create it however you want, where clients can really go and see everything that they need to know about you as a business or as a creator. And then the other thing is really just being very vocal and being very transparent about how you work when you meet clients, which is something that I wasn't really imper. But recently, I'm just very vocal. When I meet a client, I just tell them this is how I do. And I would really scout my clients rather than force them to scout me. And I would always try to ask the right questions, just for me to always try to see how realistic am I in this project or in this situation with this client. Rather than me do all the talking, blah, 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 blah. No, I just try to let my work speak itself, but in relations to what they want to achieve. If it's something that I feel it doesn't fit my portfolio or it doesn't fit my values as a creator or as a business, then I also try not to be shy, to not vocalize it once we have these sort of like initial meetings. And I think the other thing is you just need to have confidence that you're the guy. You have to have confidence in your work, and you need to understand that not everybody's gonna like your work, but there are also people that really will like your work. So it's just really a matter of you being in the right place at the right time with the right people, with the right project, and not really take it personal when people don't say they don't like your work or they don't like something about your work. I have people that say they don't like, let's say, the way I grade my work, or I do this or I do that. And I think it's okay. I think it's okay for people to have preferences. I think it's okay for people to just have opinions. But I think at the end of the day, what really matters is how you regard, how you think, and how you believe of what your work is worth. And I think that's just something that's really hard to learn early on when you're starting. But I think over time, once you're fortunate enough to accumulate a lot of work, then you can sit down and really just reflect and see, what are the things that worked and the things that don't work. And over time, you just realize that despite all the mistakes or whatever, it doesn't change the fact that you're incredible at what you do. It doesn't take away from your passion, doesn't take away from your greatness. And I think the most important thing is just to have that level of self-acceptance. And it took me a while, but to be honest now, alhamdulillah, I'm just like, man, listen, man, I know I'm the shit. I know I bring something to the table. I know I'm great. I know I'm capable of doing X, Y, Z. I know that there's certain things that I've not been able to get the opportunity, but I know if I do get the opportunity, I'm finna score. I'm finna show that I got what it takes. And also sometimes it's also just pushing yourself to learn new things, pushing yourself to not heavily rely on client projects for you to try different things. I always try to do collaborations or do my own personal projects in a way that it's just another way of me sometimes pitching to clients, where it's like I'm just so confident that I got it that I'll tell you, like, listen, just gonna do something just for you to have a taste of what I'm capable of. And sometimes that works, sometimes it doesn't work. But if it does work, you get the business, but it doesn't work, you get the portfolio that you can later on sell it to the other client. So I think it's just really just continuing to invest in yourself in terms of knowledge, experience, gear, opportunities as well. You're trying to position yourself or create environments, enlarge your social network, that you make sure that whenever the right opportunities come, you're ready. And you just work on doing the convincing part in other ways rather than spending hours and hours talking to somebody, literally like begging them to work with you. It's something that will never take you farther and will not work for the long run. So that's just something that I wanted to share, and it's just more of like me sharing it based on my experience as being a person that spent a lot of time trying to convince people to work with, but now all I have to do is just give them reasons or just communicate their needs. And most of the time, alhamdulillah, it works. We end up doing business, and also there are times that doesn't work. And there are times that it's not personal. It doesn't have to do with who you are and your craft and everything. Again, are there situations or there are things that you have to learn or build new habits or build better habits for you to have more of a sustainable, ethical run business-wise? Yes, 100%. But still at the same time, that's just for today. If you find value in this video, don't forget to subscribe and give a like. That's one of the best ways where you can support the channel for me to be able to create more of these type of content. If you have any idea or anything else you want to share, that's what the comment section is for. Thank you so much, and I'll see you in the next video.